What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Now, it is the start of the week, so yes, we do have stocks trading, but then tomorrow, of course, is a holiday again, so we might get a very weird day for trading, but because it is the start of the week, we did in fact get a legacy signal on Bitcoin that we've been waiting for quite a long time, and this has only ever happened 3 times before. I want to show you what's going on, let you guys know what I'm expecting. Could we be actually starting the beginning of a massive bull run, or is it just a fake out? Well, there is one analyst who has explained the possibility of how we could actually get to a new all-time high, even as early as September and October of this year. And if that sounds too crazy, I also want to show you some data and let you know exactly what the institutions are doing right now. So today's video is going to be very, very quick, guys. Not much to go over, but I had to get this information out. So definitely stick around to the end. I think it'll be worth your time. Get subscribed if you haven't. I'm trying to make as much updates as we can. So let's dive in right now without further ado. So Bitcoin continues to move sideways. One thing you can say, though, is after a move this big from top to bottom, the fact that we're still seeing it hold steady could give us some confidence in what we could expect moving forward. Now, obviously, I said today, the S&P, the stock market, etc., is obviously open. You can see still pushing on this very, very legacy uptrend. I don't really know if we'll break through it today or not. I think a lot of people are probably taking the day off, but of course, it's very early. We have to see what happens. But the one big thing that we can say right here, right now, is the fact that we have officially had this MACD cross on the monthly, and you can see we just got our first bit of green. Now, this has only happened a handful of times. In fact, if I show you, right here represents every single time it's ever happened. So this time it happened right here. Obviously, we had the start of a massive, massive bull run. This time right here, well, you could actually argue that maybe this one wasn't as necessarily bullish, right? Because we did end up coming down. But keep in mind, though, we did have the COVID crash. So was that a bit of an outlier, a bit of a black swan event? But nevertheless, it was a mid-cycle rally, which still was able to profit us about 500% even after this small dip right here. And then, of course, this one that we had right here, this was absolutely amazing. This was a beautiful 500 right there from there. So we kind of could say that we maybe had one that didn't quite line up, but this is definitely something we've waited for a very, very, very long time. And once you do often get inside of this green area, even if the beginning is a little bit rough, maybe we do take a dip, maybe there are some sellers, maybe there are some retests, but for the most part, once you get into the green, you generally speaking are in the bull run, right? And the other thing is that we still have a nice clean breakout right here. We have not had a retest of this parallel, but at the same time, I'm not really necessarily sure that we need that specifically on the monthly because, you know, if we zoom in a little bit closer, no, we didn't really have a retest on the weekly either. So I suppose, you know, maybe we could come down and retest around like 26 or something like that. That's possible. But ultimately, we broke out of it, and I'm looking to just get inside this Ichimoku, actually get outside of the Ichimoku cloud. Because as you can see right here, once you tend to break through, right, you tend to pretty much stay above it for quite a long time. And then once you fall inside of it, well, that's when you tend to go to the downside. So right now, we have broken inside of it. We just haven't broken out of it yet. But I mean, you're knocking right there. You're knocking right on the door. You're right at the top, right? And then again, our major trend line here. Now, I just want to point out that at the time of making this video, we're looking for about a $30,539 level right here, as you guys can see, to get right above this 1.618, and that's basically exactly where we're trying to push on right now. In fact, if we look at this monthly candle, we're technically a little bit higher than that. Very, very hard to see. So that's also good. Now, someone else was asking me about what if I switch this to log? It changes a little bit. For example, you could see maybe we have to readjust this trend, down here. And, if that's the case, if you want to look at it on a log chart, well, then we've already had our retest. We've already had our sort of resistance right here, and then we've already flipped that into support. So technically on the log chart, then yes, we've already accomplished everything that we're trying to accomplish. But again, on the linear chart, I would still want that double confirmation. I mean, linear, log, take your pick, but really confirmation on both of them would be a lot better than just one of them, right? Of course, still above the weekly and the monthly as well. The weekly is actually having a beautiful, beautiful twist. We may actually end up completely flipping this ribbon at some point, which I am anticipating. And of course, just looking at this old blue zone, we do know that we're at the very top of it. So, remember, we said anything below the blue zone, amazing opportunity to long or to accumulate. Anything above this, you may want to consider taking something off the table and shorting, but we're not even at that level yet. That level would start at around 37,000. Right? So as long as we maintain either this upward sloping trend or this upward sloping trend, either way, I am feeling pretty good. Now, here's something interesting that I wanted to point out that Credible had mentioned. So he said, what's clear with any parabolic advance is that the momentum increases exponentially and peaks at the top. We could see this in both prior impulses from 3K to 14K and from 10K to 60K. You'll notice that the largest candles occur at the top of the move, not at the bottom, right? We get these big candles, then down here, not too much really going on, right? So he says we can assume that the monthly candle as we move up will only increase in size. So with that in mind, let's take our current situation, monthly retest complete, and the largest monthly candle we've seen thus far was a 10K move, which broke us above the monthly level of 25K. So according to him, he says we're about to enter July, month 1, August, month 2, September, month 3. This would imply a new all-time high by October as a fairly logical estimate. And again, you have to remember when these moves start to happen, right? They happen and then you get this candle and then we come down, we have that retest and everybody's like, oh, see, I told you it's a fake out. And then you just go on this crazy tear. Everyone's chasing it. FOMO is at all-time high. I've seen it time and time again. And, I'm sure some people out there are screaming, oh, you're being a perma bull. Not necessarily, but I am saying that at this point, having a look at that. And, the other thing too, like I wanted to point out was you can also argue that this sort of has a cup and handle vibe to it, right? Like here's the cup, right? And here's the handle. That's usually a pretty bullish move as well. And if you want to talk about what the institutions are doing, they say, well, look at what we have right here. So Bitcoin institutional fund accumulation trends. So fund holdings, this is from CryptoQuant, refer to the cryptocurrency holdings of institutional investors, including hedge funds, investment firms, and cryptocurrency private funds. By closely observing fund holdings, we can identify a significant upward trend in the accumulation Bitcoin by these institutional entities. This exponential increase in holdings indicates a strong interest to acquire Bitcoin. And you can see it just boom, it just shoots right up. These entities are actively seeking long-term investment opportunities in Bitcoin, demonstrating a more patient approach compared to a short-term approach that some of the retail investors might end up taking. And according to the blocks data, we have the put to call ratio of Bitcoin trades declining. So this typically indicates a shift in sentiment towards a more bullish or optimistic market. And they say furthermore, this can imply that market participants are becoming more confident in the asset's future performance and are less concerned about potential downside risks. And this also just came out, just to throw this out, from Bernstein. They said, the lack of spot ETF leads to growth of over-the-counter products like Bitcoin Grayscale Trust, which are more expensive, illiquid, inefficient. So according to the report from Bernstein, they said probability for US approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF is actually, in their opinion, fairly high. So, of course, we know nothing goes up in a straight line. I do expect some form of a pullback at some point, right? But at the same time, like Credible was pointing out, look at how those candles get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? It kind of starts off slowly and then, it gets completely parabolic. And then by that point, everybody just totally misses the move, right? So obviously be cautious. There are still some things in the charts that, we are not exactly 100% bullish on just yet, but it does seem like overall things are moving into the green, into the positive for crypto. And, maybe we will get that ETF approved. Who knows? And that could open literally the floodgates for all of the institutions. So hope you guys are having a great day. If you do want to learn how to trade, guys, make sure you check out this tutorial popping up right here, right now. Until next time, stay crypto. Have an awesome, awesome holiday if you are in the US. If not, have a great day either way. And of course, peace out.